Hello students, this is Jaya Bairathi, lecturer Cddm, Gwpc, Sanganer. Students, in our first lecture about draping, we had learnt about the definition, history and advantages and disadvantages of draping. From that lecture, we gathered the knowledge that draping is being done on a dress form. It is a method of creating a three-dimensional garment on the dress form using a muslin fabric. So it's a method that is being followed generally by high fashion designers, and the advantage being that the garment final look is visualized on the dress form itself. Though we have been talking about toile and the dress form, but there are other tools required for draping. So in this lecture we are going to discuss the tools required for draping. So the first tool that we need is a plastic ruler. You need to measure the fabric, you need to measure other things also. So it's a clear plastic ruler, and it has different markings, say at 1/4 of an inch or more than that. Then French curve ruler. We all know about French curves. It is used to curve the edges of collars, necklines, armholes and hip curves. Generally a ruler to make curved lines. Then of course an iron to smoothen up the fabric. Then ironing board. An ironing board is necessary with an iron. So it is a board on which we keep our fabric and iron the fabric. And then an L square. An L square, we know about it. You all know about an L square. See, most of the tools are same, but we are discussing what we can use during draping. So it is a metal shaped ruler, might be of wood also. Generally the longer arm is of 24 inches and the shorter arm is of 14 inches. And of course muslin cloth. You all know about muslin cloth. It is an inexpensive fabric on which the grain is quite visible. It is generally used to drape garments made of woven fabrics. Muslin is again available in different qualities. The first quality can be a coarse weave medium weight fabric. That is generally preferred for the beginners because the grain lines are easily visible. Then second quality of muslin is a lightweight, finely woven fabric used for soft draping. And thirdly, a heavyweight, firmly woven fabric used for draping the tailored garments. Actually, the heavyweight muslin is generally being called as a toile muslin. Then comes a notcher. A notcher is a punching tool used to mark the edges of a sloper or a paper pattern. So of course we don't need it on the muslin, but once we transfer the pattern on the paper, then we will need a notcher. Then pattern drafting paper. As we had discussed earlier, that the muslin is being draped on the dress form and then it is being transferred on the paper. So of course you need a pattern drafting paper. It can be strong white good quality drafting paper pattern with 1-inch grids, and it is available in rolls of various widths. Not only white paper is available, Brown paper is also available in different qualities for making a pattern. Then pencils. There can be a different types of pencils which are used on the muslin itself as well as on the brown paper itself. On the muslin we can use sketch pens also, tailor's chalks, but generally we prefer using a pencil or a pen for marking the pattern outlines on the muslin. Next is pin cushion or pin dispenser. The pattern making on dress form is done by pinning of fabric on the dress form. So we need number of pins, and these pins are being stored in the pin cushion or the pin dispenser. Then comes shears and scissors. Shears are usually 4 to 8 inches long and made of steel bent handle shears are excellent for easy and straight cutting. Next is style tape, a narrow woven tape that is used to define style lines on the dress form. There are other tools also like straight pins. These are dress marker pins with sharp tapering points. Then tailor's chalk. We all know about tailor's chalk. These are used to mark lines temporarily. Tape measures, flexible, narrow, firmly woven 60 inches reversible tape marked with measurements indicating both inches and metric terms, used to take dress form, muslin and body measurements. Tracing wheel. Tracing wheels are spike edges, circular wheels that is used to transfer markings from the drape to the pattern paper. There can be two types of tracing wheels. The tracing wheel with small serrated edges, it is used to mark fabric for draping purposes, and the tracing wheel with small spikes is used on paper for flat pattern making. Then yardstick, a wooden or metallic ruler 1 yard in length, 36 inches that is marked in inches or metric terms, and aid for laying pattern pieces on the straight grain of the fabric or the measuring hemlines. One important thing that we need to know about while doing the draping is dress form. So it is a three-dimensional shape used for designing and displaying the clothing. Dressmakers and designers use dress forms to work with fabric pieces to construct a clothing item of a specific size, while fashion merchandisers may display finished garments on a dress form. See, a dress form is different from a mannequin. A dress form is made according to a standard measurement chart, while mannequins have some exaggerations or with the measurements. Maybe the legs are very long, maybe the waistline is very narrow, because the very purpose of dress form is different from mannequins. Mannequins are basically used in visual merchandising to display the merchandise on the showrooms, in the windows, so they need to be very attractive. Whereas the dress form has a more technical use. It has been used for draping, for checking the fitting of a garment. So there is a scope for pinning. That is why it is being called soft body form also. And the dress form is available in different sizes, small, medium, large. So I think you've understood the difference between a dress form and a mannequin. Then let's come back to the dress form. It is an adjustable kind of dress form, and they provide the person who is working on it in an uninterrupted shape and surface required for pinning the fabric. Then dressmakers' dress forms are short, which are not used to design dresses. They are only for the purpose of seeing the final garment. But for draping the garments, full-sized dress forms are there. There are several markings on the dress form. When you will see the dress form, you can see the neck bend, you can see the center front line, the bust apex level, side seams, hip lines. These all lines are visible on the dress form, both on the front and the back. And while you start working on the dress form, you have to check for the dress form and prepare the dress form for draping. So this is about your dress form. Let's talk about some pressing equipment once more. Like we've talked about the iron. A professional pressing iron should be there. It should have adjustable temperature control. It can be an automatic iron or a steam iron, whichever is suitable and easily available for you. Then the ironing board, it should again be a professional iron board. There can be sleeve boards, the smaller attachments also. The muslin has to be checked also before starting with the draping. The grain lines should be correct. One should check the muslin and then you start working with the muslin. So this is about the pre-preparation while you start draping. Thank you.